माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा जय कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यमुना तीरावनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय
राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
जय गौर हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल
हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
जय जय प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada
जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव
जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शशि श्री ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद महाराज की
Jai.
जय
श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की
Jai.
जय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo
ओम नमो भगवते
Vasudevaya.
वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo
ओम नमो भगवते
Vasudevaya.
वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Naram
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरये
ततो जयमुदीरये
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नाष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवते उत्तम श्लोके
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी.
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, The Son of Drona Punished, text number 11. If someone can, yes, thank you. Harer Gunakshpita Mate, can repeat.
Gunakshitamate
Bhagavan Badarayani,
Bhagavan Badarayani
Adhyagan Mahad Akyanam,
अद्यागान् महादाख्यानम्
Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha.
नित्यं विष्णु जनप्रियः.
Harer Gunakshpita Mate,
हरेर्गुणाक्षुपितान्मते
Bhagavan Badarayani,
भगवान् बादरायणि
Adhyagan Mahad Akyanam,
अद्यागान् महादाख्यानम्
Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha.
नित्यं विष्णु जनप्रियः.
I would like to recite.
Hare Gunakshitamate
Hare Gunakshpitamate
Bhagavan Badarayani
Bhagavan
भगवान्
Badarayani
बादरायणि
Adyagan Mahadakyanam
अद्यागान्
Adhyagan
महादाख्यानम्
Mahadakyanam
Nityam Vishnu Janapriya
नित्यं विष्णु जनप्रियः.
Janapriyaha.
हरेर्गुणाक्स्पितामते
Hare Gunakshpitamate
भगवान् बदरायिनि
Bhagavan
भगवान्
Badarayani
बादरायणि
अध्याज्ञान् महद् आख्यानाम्
Adhyagan
ज्ञानं महादाख्यानम्
Mahadakyanam
नित्यं विष्णु जनप्रिया
Nityam
नित्यं
Vishnu
विष्णु जनप्रियः.
Janapriyaha.
हरेर्गुणाक्षप्तिर्मातेर्
Hare
हरेर्गुणाक्स्मितामते
भगवान् बद्धरायणि
Bhagavan
भगवान्
Badarayani
बदरायिनि
अद्यान् महादाख्यानम्
Adhyagan
भगवान्
Mahadakyanam
महदाख्यानाम्
नित्यं विष्णु जनप्रियः.
Nityam
नित्यं
Vishnu
विष्णु
Janapriyaha.
जनप्रियः.
A translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai. Hare of Hari, the personality of Godhead. Guna, transcendental absolute. Akshipta, being absorbed in. Mati, mind. Bhagavan, powerful. Badarayani, the son of Vyasdeva. Adhyagat, underwent studies. Mahat, great. Akhyanam, narration. Nityam, regularly. Vishnu Jana, devotees of the Lord. Priyah, beloved. Translation. Srila Shukdeva Goswami, son of Srila Vyasdeva, was not only transcendently powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of this great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam. Purport. According to Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Srila Shukdeva Goswami was a liberated soul even within the womb of his mother. Srila Vyasdeva knew that the child after his birth would not stay at home. Therefore, he, Vyasdeva, impressed upon him the synopsis of the
China is a conductor. Tell me what is the meaning of prep which was
so that
created
the,
from was it not the
so,
process of figure out the to search. अच्छा अभी इसको अपना
Shushrita Prabhu, can you please call me?
so that the child could be made
Hare Krishna, he is now muted. I can't hear him.
Manisha Mataji, can you unmute?
Oh, no, I haven't muted.
You muted again.
Ramana Prabhu, you're on mute, yeah.
There we go.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll repeat from where I left off here. Therefore, he Vyasadeva impressed upon him the synopsis of the Bhagavatam so that the child could be made attached to the transcendental activities of the Lord. After his birth, the child was still more educated in the subject of the Bhagavatam by recitation of the actual poems. The idea is that generally the liberated souls are attached to the feature of impersonal Brahman within a monistic view of becoming one with the Supreme Whole. But by the association of pure devotees like Vyasdeva, even the liberated soul become attracted to the transcendental qualities of the Lord. By the mercy of Srila Narada, Srila Vyasdeva was able to narrate the great epic of Srimad Bhagavatam. And by the mercy of Vyasdeva, Srila Sukadeva Goswami was able to grasp the import. The transcendental qualities of the Lord are so attractive that Srila Sukadeva Goswami became detached from being completely absorbed in impersonal Brahman and positively took up the personal activity of the Lord. Practically, he was thrown from the impersonal conception of the Absolute, thinking within himself that he had simply wasted so much time in devoting himself to the impersonal feature of the Supreme, or in other words, he realized more transcendental bliss with the personal feature than the impersonal. And from that time, not only did he himself become very dear to the Vishnu Janas or the devotees of the Lord, but also the Vishnu Janas became very dear to him. The devotees of the Lord who do not wish to kill the individuality of the living entities and who desire to become personal servitors of the Lord do not very much like the impersonalist. And similarly, the impersonalists who desire to become one with the Supreme are unable to evaluate the devotees of the Lord. Thus, from time immemorial, these two transcendental pilgrims have sometimes been competitors. In other words, each of them likes to keep separate from the other because of the ultimate personal and impersonal realization. Therefore, it appears that Srila Sukadeva Goswami also had no liking for the devotees. But since he himself became a saturated devotee, he desired always the transcendental association of the Vishnu Janas. And the Vishnu Janas also liked his association. Since he became a personal Bhagavata, thus, both the son and the father were completely cognizant of transcendental knowledge in Brahman, and afterwards, both of them became absorbed in the personal features of the Supreme Lord. The question as to how Sukadeva Goswami was attracted by the narration of the Bhagavatam is thus completely answered by this shloka. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाख्या चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांशं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्विता हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे Hare Krishna. Welcome again, everyone. I'll read the translation again. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, The Son of Drona Punished, text number 11. Srila Sukdev Goswami, son of Srila Vyasdeva, was not only transcendently powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus he underwent the study of this great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam. So basically this text, number 11, is the answer from Sutta Goswami. Is answering the question earlier asked by Shaunak Rishi. That question is there in text number 9, where he's asking Sutta Goswami about uh, Srila Sukdev Goswami, that why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. He was inquiring this question, this fact from Sutta Goswami. So, if we see all these, the method of Vedic discourse, etc., is through like question and answer. Queries are always encouraged. It is not like that somebody just imposing certain philosophical viewpoint. So questions are always encouraged. And in this particular scenario, we can see the question is a bit challenging as well, because why he's asking that this question, I mean, Sonik Rishi has asked this question, that is also very nicely explained by Prabhupada in his purport. We'll come to that point in a while. But the idea is that in all these Vedic literatures, there is a one point mentioned, point of view, and then there will be question about the, its counter argument as well, so that there is no ambiguity left. Somebody has given certain concept, a great authority has given some concept about the spiritual subject matter, and then there will be some question and clarification sought by the audience or whoever is receiving that knowledge, so that there is no ambiguity left. So it is not that something which is being imposed. The audience is or followers are always given opportunity to ask questions and clarify any doubt if there are any. And we can see, so basically, even like Parikshit Maharaj, he's asking so many questions. In entire Bhagavatam, we'll see that basically it is question and answer. Parikshit Maharaj is asking so many questions. And even within that narration, when answers are given, then there is further conversation between other, great two personalities. And again, there will be some question and answer like that. So it is not like monologue. It's a dialogue, where there is a lot of questions which are asked. We can see even Bhagavad Gita as well. Arjuna is given this opportunity to ask question, and he is asked so many questions. So basically, Arjuna or Parikshit Maharaj, they are not asking these questions for themselves, but rather they are asking question for people in general. Parikshit Maharaj, being a king, he is also representing his entire subjects. So for the common mass, on their behalf also they ask questions. Similarly, Arjuna, he is also asking so many questions. And questions so that there won't be any ambiguity left. So in that way, the speaker gets opportunity to clarify the main point if there is any doubt about that, and then if there is any counter argument, then he has to also satisfy by answering. So there is no ambiguity left, and that way these Vedic literatures become perfect. They are perfect in that sense. If we recall that even in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, when Krishna says that this Bhagavad Gita knowledge was given to Surya Deva, Vivaswan first, and then from him, the through parampara system, it was coming to all the various kings. But in the due course of time, that chain got broken. Immediately after that, Arjuna is asking this question, because any common man will think about this. How is possible, in a material sense, Krishna is contemporary of Arjuna. So, and Suryadev has been existing for so many millions of years. So, how is it possible that for Krishna to provide this knowledge to Suryadeva? Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivasvata means aparam bhavato janma. Vivaswan, he appeared before you. So how was it possible for you to give this, to impart this knowledge to Vivaswan, Suryadeva? Then Lord clarifies there that, Bahuni me vevtitani janmani tavacha Arjuna. There has been many births of yours and mine, but you do not remember, but I remember everything. And then he clarifies further that he is unborn, actually, Lord. And then he further goes on explaining Janmakam Chame Divyam Yoveti Tattvata, that my appearance and actions are all transcendental. They are not on material platform. And anybody who knows that in totality, Tattvata, then what happens? Tyaktva deham punarjanma nayati mameti so Arjuna. Then upon leaving this body, that person do not come into this material world again, but attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead, goes back to Godhead. So, so that is the way of Vedic discourse, question and answers. And this is how we can see here, Shonak Rishi asked this question, and then Suta Goswami is clarifying. And then this text actually, through these two slokas, 9 is the question and 10 and 11 is the answer. So 11 is concluding part of that answer. Last week, it was that Atma Rama shloka, famous shloka, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had explained from various angles, various viewpoints. And then 11 is the concluding portion. So this also shows the significant transformation in the life of Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Being a transcendentalist, like impersonalist, who actually believed and had a concept of impersonal Brahman, fully attached to impersonal concept of Brahman. From there to the personal concept, from Brahma concept to Bhagwan concept. So that transformation happened. How did that happen? Why did that happen? All these things are nicely explained in this purport and answered by Sutta Goswami. That explain why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. Why did Sukadeva Goswami take this trouble, even though he was already a self-realized soul? Atmarama, do not require any other thing to have his own internal pleasure. He's Atmaram. So this means the answer given by Sutta Goswami also gives this opportunity to understand the supremacy of devotional service, the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga. Because even though who are completely liberated soul, Bhakti even attracts them. This is what we can, this inference we can make from these two shlokas answered by Sutta Goswami. So this is the a context of today's shloka. And then we can see, as usual, Prabhupada has very nicely explained the purport, and in a very sequential way, in a very orderly fashion. That first he's explaining the Shukadeva Goswami's initial position, that he's completely absorbed in Brahman realization. And he does not need anything other, any other means to give him any inner peace or inner satisfaction. He is Atma, but yet he is getting attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. So from initial position of attraction to the absorption to the Brahman to the attraction to the personal form of Krishna. So that transformation is explained there, and then Prabhupada further explains that by this transformation, practically, Shukadeva Goswami was thrown from the impersonal conception of the absolute thinking within himself. And Prabhupada further used this phrase that Shukadeva Goswami is thinking within himself that he had simply wasted so much time in devoting himself to the impersonal feature of the Supreme. And then Prabhupada further explains about this transformation, that this relation is there with in Shukadeva Goswami, that there is a more transcendental bliss with the personal feature than the impersonal. And this is very important to understand. The transcendental bliss which one gets from impersonal feature is nowhere anywhere near to the transcendental bliss the one gets from relation of Bhagwan aspect, that personal aspect of Shri Bhagwan. As we know in Bhagavatam also, it is mentioned that there is a 3 stage of God realization, which is Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaneti, Shabdhyate. So first level is that impersonal Brahman effulgence, which is the effulgence coming from Lord's transcendental body, and then all-pervading or localized aspect of super soul, which is Paramatma, and then ultimately the Lord as a person, Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is Bhagwan realization. So there is nothing wrong in Brahma realization as such, because Lord is Sat Chit Anand, but Brahma realization has got only Sat part, and Paramatma realization is Sat and Chit, and Bhagwan realization is complete realization, which is Satchit and Anand. So that Anand, that bliss, complete transcendental bliss, is only when one is able to realize Bhagwan aspect, personal aspect of the Lord, which is easy to understand as well. So Brahma realization, nothing wrong, but the problem is that it is not the complete. So problem is when somebody says that yes, this is all. Actually, beyond that, there is something beyond that as well, which is Paramatma, and then ultimate relation is Bhagwan relation. So it is like, say, if there is some very nice, palatable dish being cooked, some nice prasadam is there. So without seeing, without tasting, you can smell it, right? If it is kept somewhere, away from your sight, you can't see it, you can't taste it, but smell is there, right? Still, you get some pleasure out of it. The next level is you get opportunity to see it as well, smell it and see it. Probably you'll get more attraction to it. And then ultimate is what? When you taste it. So that way, with that analogy, devotees have explained it very nicely. I was hearing a lecture other day, a very practical example or analogy, that just smelling it from far away place is like Brahma realization. And then smelling and seeing it as well is like Paramatma realization, but actually tasting is Bhagwan realization. So in personal relation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is a relationship between devotee and the Lord. So you need to have somebody as a person on the side as well to have some loving exchange. And that is only possible with Lord as a person. In that way, devotee can have loving exchange, relationship. So these are the 3 aspects of relation of the Lord. So it means that more transcendental bliss is there with the personal feature than the impersonal. And that is the reason why Sukadeva Goswami got attracted, and then he took this pain to go through Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadeva Goswami is not an like an ordinary personality. He's very, very exalted personality. Even in his previous birth, he was a parrot, but not an ordinary parrot. In previous birth, he was Radharani's personal parrot. So it's not an ordinary thing. And he used to carry messages of, from Radharani to Krishna and from Krishna back to Radharani, like that, like, in that parrot form. He used to do this kind of service. So when Radharani prepared to leave for the spiritual world, Sukadeva Goswami, as a parrot Shuka, also wanted to go along with her, but she asked to stay behind, and promising that he would not feel any separation wherever Krishna's pastimes were narrated. If he is there where Krishna's pastimes is narrated, then this Shuka, this parrot, will not feel any separation from Radharani. So he was just that parrot was searching a place where he could hear about Krishna's pastimes. So he found that Lord Shiva was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati at Kailash. So he hid nearby, to listen. And when Parvati, what happened that Parvati was listening Srimad Bhagavatam narrated by Lord Shiva, and after each shloka or verse, she was just responding like like that. So giving acknowledgement that she was listening. But after some time, Parvati fell asleep. Then this parrot Shuka mimicked her responses to avoid alerting Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva continued narrating Srimad Bhagavatam. But after some time, when this entire narration was finished, then he came to know that actually for Parvati was not awake throughout the narration period. She fell asleep in between. Then he realized, Lord Shiva realized that there was some uninvited listener also present in the form, that parrot. Then he attempted to catch him and he chased him. And then fleeing Shuka, actually, he sought refuge in Vyasadeva's hermitage. And it so happened that he entered the mouth of Vyasa's wife. And thereby, he entered in the womb of Vyasadeva's wife and got this body actually, but he did not come out of his mother's womb. He remained in the wombs of his mother for 16 years before his actual, he decided to come out of the womb, because he was very much concerned that as soon as he will come out, Maya will catch. So that's why he remained in the womb of his mother for 16 long years. So that is the pastime of Shukdeva. And so in that way, he was totally impersonalist. Initially he was impersonalist, and he was, as Prabhupada is saying in the purport, that he is giving a reference to Brahmavad Purana as well. The Shukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul even within the womb of his mother. Within the womb of his mother, he was liberated because he knew that as soon as I go outside, Maya will catch. So he was totally liberated. And Sri Vyasadeva also knew about this child after his birth would not stay at home. So therefore he impressed upon the synopsis of Bhagavatam, so that the child can be made attached to the transcendental activities of the Lord. So through that narration, of Srimad Bhagavatam by Vyasadeva, Shukdev Goswami got attached to the personal feature of the Lord. And if we see in this shloka, there are some very nice terminologies used, like Harer Guna Kshipitah Matir. So here, Harer Guna, Prabhupada's translation of Hari, the personality of Godhead. Hari. And then Guna is transcendental attribute, Akshipita being absorbed in Mati, mind. So Harer Guna, why it is Harer Guna? And Acharyas, they have also commented about this. Harer Guna. So Hari means somebody who also takes away, all the inauspicious things from devotee's life. Anything inauspicious. It could be even material opulence also. If that is creating impediment on the path of bhakti, then that is also taken away by Krishna as a special mercy that we can see also from the lifetime of Prabhupada as well, that his business failed, and in that way he had all relatives, everybody will just abandon that person who doesn't have any money, and then Prabhupada was totally dependent on Krishna, and he has everything all full time to support Krishna consciousness mission. So that was the plan of Lord Krishna for Prabhupada by taking away everything. So Hare, so since he can take away everything which is inauspicious on the path of devotional service, so much so that he can take away somebody's transcends, that transcendental position which is there in impersonal Brahman. Even that can be taken away to upgrade that sadhak, from this impersonal realization to personal realization. It is like upgrading, from economy class to first class, business class, like that. So that is why it says Harer Guna. And then Akshipta is completely absorption in the pastimes, name, form, qualities of the Supreme Lord. And once he gets attracted to the personal feature of the Lord, what does he do? Shukdev Goswami, that is in the second line, Adhyagan Mahad Akhyanam. So he underwent studies. He further devoted his time in studying this great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam. Akhyanam, Mahat Akhyanam. So Mahat is great. Akhyanam, narration. Actually, it means these are all, whatever is mentioned in these scriptures, they are not like plain story or somebody's imagination. Akhyanam, it means they are like written record. In Sanskrit, that akhya is also used to explain written records, facts, akhya. And then, so it means it is not some mythology as it is mentioned in English term, particularly for entire Vedic literature as mythology. It is not. These are based on the facts, history. Purana. Purana is also like very old history from bygone ages, but they are all facts based on the factual events. Mahadakhyanam. And then about this Bhagavatam, it is also called Amala Puran. So that means it is free of any material tinge. Now somebody may argue then, okay, so other Puranas are then like not pure. Well, they are, but there is a small tinge of materialistic viewpoint as well. Like it recommends about Karma Kanda section, etc. But Bhagavatam Puran has nothing to do with anything on those like like dharma, artha, kam, moksha, etc. It is beyond even four purusharthas. It is beyond that. So there is nothing which is mentioned that you do this activity, that activity, then you gradually, you earn some artha, solve your economic problem, and then gradually aspire for moksha, etc. Nothing. It is pure and pure transcendental information about Lord Krishna's pastimes and his devotees' pastimes. So that way, it is Amala Purana. Now, this, if we compare this with the Bhagavad Gita, this answer given by Sutta Goswami, which establishes the supremacy of devotional life, we can also see same thing is actually asked by Arjuna as well in chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna had asked which one is better, which one is considered to be more perfect. Uh, like those who are always properly engaged in a devotional service, which is obviously the personal relation of Sri Bhagwan, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested one. So that was the question asked by Arjuna. Evan satat yukta ye bhaktastvam paripasate. That one. And then Lord answered that question that those who fix their mind on my personal form and are always engaged in my devotional service, worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, they are considered the most perfect. And that is also, that conclusion is also given in chapter 6 in Dhyan Yoga, the very last verse, where Krishna says that of all the yogis, those who constantly engaged in thinking of me, worshipping me, performing devotional service, they are considered to be the topmost yogis. So that also proves the supremacy of devotional service. So in that way, we can see the similar thing is there in Srimad Bhagavad Gita as well. And further, Krishna also says that for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, for them advancement is very troublesome. And to make progress in that discipline, in the Brahman relation, impersonal feature, is always difficult for us who are embodied. And that we can very easily correlate as well, right? If there is nobody on the other side as a person to establish any relationship, then it is very difficult, right? And to have any loving relationship with unmanifested form. So that can also be understood that like impersonal feature is more like having theoretical understanding, right? You have full knowledge through your Dhyan Yoga or Jnana Yoga, but there is no practical aspect of it. Whereas in devotional service, there is a because of loving relationship, in the devotional practice, it is a very practical thing. Like devotees chanting the Lord's name, doing Vigraha Seva, offering bhoga, accepting remnants of Lord's prasada. So in that way, it is direct connection. It is a very practical. Whatever knowledge which could have been acquired by Dhyana Yoga or Jnana Yoga, all those things are in practice here, put in practice. So in that way, it is easy as well, through personal relation, because that is being practiced. So the chances of falling down is not as high as it is there in the other practices, because for impersonal feature, continuing that practice is very, very difficult, troublesome, as Lord says in chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, where he is explaining Bhakti Yoga. So what are the key inferences or takeaway from this shloka is, first, it establishes the superiority of bhakti. So that we can see from the life of Shukadeva Goswami, that is transformation of Shukadeva Goswami from being is impersonalist, believing in monism, um, to to um, to realize the supreme personality of Godhead in a personal form. So that establishes the ultimate supremacy of bhakti or devotional service. How we can make that statement? Again, we have to see the example of Shukadeva Goswami, that even a liberated soul like Shukadeva, who was self-satisfied, was attracted by the personal pastimes of Krishna. And that proves that bhakti is higher realization than impersonal liberation. And to prove that point, Prabhupada mentioned here that transcendental bliss in the relation of impersonal Brahman becomes comparable. No, sorry, in this one, that was that number 10. Sukadeva Goswami realized more transcendental bliss with the personal feature than the impersonal, because he was getting more transcendental bliss in the personal feature. That is why he was able to change, transform. So that proves bhakti's superiority. And then Krishna's transcendental qualities in personal feature form is so potent that they can attract anyone, including those absorbed in the bliss of Brahman, those who are self-realized, impersonalist. Even it attracts them. So this highlights Krishna as the original and highest manifestation of the absolute truth, more complete than the impersonal Brahman. So the three stages mentioned in Bhagavatam, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti Shabdyate. So it proves that point, that Krishna in his personal form is more complete than the impersonal Brahman, which is not difficult to understand. But that point is also proven from this text. And then the role of Bhagavatam as well. This Amal Puran, because it is so powerful. It is a powerful literary incarnation of the Lord. So the messages which are there in Bhagavatam can uplift even the most advanced yogis and jnanis. It is Bhagavatam is for them as well, apart from any other, like worldly men as well. A few weeks back, when we were reading other shloka, we came to this point as well, where Prabhupada mentioned that even though it is for Paramahansa, but it is for even worldly men as well. It can uplift their spiritual status. But it is even applicable for most advanced yogis and jnanis to bring them to the platform of devotional service. And again, we can see from the example of Shukadeva Goswami. So this is again potency of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Shukadeva Goswami's life also proves this point, the supremacy of Bhagavatam as well. And then finally, particularly for Kali Yuga, it is the mode of spiritual enlightenment, because Krishna, after his departure, this Bhagavatam has become the guiding light for humanity. It offers the clear path for those who have lost sight of true knowledge because of darkness of Kali Yuga. So in that way, it can lead us back to the personal form of Lord Krishna and devotional service, which ultimately can lead us back to home, back to Godhead. So that also we can make this inference as well from this point, that for Kali Yuga also Bhagavatam is the spiritual mode of spiritual enlightenment. So these are the few key takeaway for us to think about meditate on it, and then at least get inspired to study Bhagavatam on a regular basis, daily, Nityam Bhagavat Sevya. And that way, we can also get benefit and can get association of Srila Prabhupada as well on a daily basis. Because his purports are, when we are going through Srila Prabhupada's purport, we are associating with Srila Prabhupada, which will be very, very beneficial for our spiritual practice. So whatever programs, whatever rules he has given, Prabhupada, that, morning Bhagavatam class, evening Srimad Bhagavad Gita class, etc., like that. So basically that will make sure that we are absorbed, always thinking about Krishna. It may not be possible for us initially, but through just following the instructions as given by Prabhupada, morning we are, having all these nice Mangala Arati, etc., Srimad Bhagavatam class, and then yes, go to do your normal, business, normal work, whatever you do. Try to think about Krishna as well, and then again in the evening, get associated with Prabhupada, and thereby thinking about Krishna by studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita or attending Bhagavad Gita class, like that. So in that way, Prabhupada has given such a nice program that somehow or other will be not able to forget Krishna if we follow the instruction. So I'll stop here. I know we have gone like 15 minutes over the prescribed time, I believe, but I think because of Damodar Arti, we had to adjust this, right? So
Yes,
thank you
Prabhuji.
all very much for your time and association. If anybody has got any question or comment, then please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for a nice class. Anyone have questions, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Actually, one of my friend, we are discussing and we had this question actually. Like, there is someone who is following an impersonal form of, he is following a different marga, not Krishna conscious marga, but he has gone very deep into the impersonal Brahman thing. But after that, it becomes a U-turn. Like he decide, his thoughts and his actions are becoming evil. So his question is like, if someone is going deep into that some marga of, some impersonal Brahman into the God realization, he should have got it only by some good deeds that he has done in his past life. Then how he is getting that negative thoughts and negative acts after getting so deep into that very impersonal Brahman marga. So why it happens to him? That was his question.
Negative thoughts, was it? Are you saying that he is no more like on making progress on gradual path?
Yes.
Spiritual path?
Correct.
Okay, right. So that's why it says now it is very troublesome, very difficult. So chances of falling down is very likely. And so how we can understand this point is, suppose there is a prescribed medicine by physician, right? Somebody is taking that medicine as per prescription, but if there is a gradual improvement in that disease condition, that person decides to just ignore that prescribed medicine, its doses, or maybe forget to take the medicine, or deliberately does not take the medicine as prescribed. Say suppose it is thrice a day, he just takes one once a day or twice a day, or whenever he remembers. That way it will not have that effect. So yes, it is on individual's choice only. Always the choice is there. But nevertheless, this path of impersonal relation is very troublesome. This is what Lord Krishna also says in chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita. And the difference is why it is so troublesome, that through that Gyan Marg or Dhyan Marg, it is based on individual practitioner's strength. You have to make progress. Whereas in Bhakti Marga, yes, you have to put your endeavor as well, but it is more towards the because of the mercy of other devotees and the Supreme Lord. So Lord is the in charge, because here it is that prapannam, surrender is there. In Bhakti Marg, the devotee has surrendered unto the Supreme Lord, then Lord has taken charge. All we have to do is just follow the instructions as given by Guru and Acharya, and then they are taking charge to make you successful. Our own strength we can't do, right? Fallible souls, we may fall down, but it is because of their potency. They are empowering us to make progress. Whereas in the impersonal feature, there is no relationship with the Supreme Lord. So it is on their own strength they are trying to make progress, which is very, very difficult. Prabhupada gives that example that Bhakti Marg, this personal relation of the Supreme Lord through Bhakti Marg is like taking escalator. Lift is there. Whereas other is like, taking step by step, that staircase. And you have to go maybe, I don't know, millions of floors up. So in that way, it is very difficult, troublesome. And and also there is no mellow, right? There is no loving relationship, so you're not getting any taste of it. And by nature, the soul always seeks pleasure, and there is no transcendental pleasure as compared to bhakti marg. So that is why it is very troublesome. We can very easily understand that from the concept of say prasadam in bhakti marg, right? You get nice prasadam as well, right? And others you have to like in yoga or gyan marga, you have to abstain from eating so many foodstuffs, because it is like a sensual pleasure, this and that. But in bhakti marga, everything is getting dovetailed in the service of Krishna, so it gets sanctified, and then you take the remnants of Lord's prasad and you get purified, and also you get some taste, some mellow out of it, and that way it is like param drishtva nivartante. You get higher taste, and you are always experiencing that higher taste, and that will make sure that you are progressing in that path, which is not possible on other troublesome method like Dhyan Yoga or Gyan Yoga on impersonal aspect. So your friend, just try to get him to chant and taste prasadam. Gradually, he can also come to the path of bhakti. Four Kumaras, they were great impersonalists, but they happened to smell that tulsi leaves offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. And just by smelling that fragrance, they became great devotees. So that transformation happened. You will not find any example that a devotee has become impersonalist. Impersonalist will become devotee gradually, because Krishna says, Bhavanam janam namante jnanvan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samatma sudurlabha. So after many, many births, ultimately they will also become devotee. So why to take that difficult, troublesome path? When lift is available, why to take staircase?
Thank you very much. I think the answers are very detailed, and thanks a lot, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, answers are already there in Prabhupada's purpose, etc. I'm just repeating whatever I could remember.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Actually, I have one more question. If you have time, otherwise I can ask next week also.
We can take one more question. I'll try to give brief answer though.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, like initially when we start our life, we don't know what is Krishna consciousness, and we don't know about Krishna. and at that point of time we pray our gods like Ganesha, Murga, Durga, everyone, and we keep all those idols in our house and we pray them. And at later point of time we try to understand like supreme is Krishna, and all other demigods are not the supreme. It's one, we understand like supreme is Krishna and not any other gods. And at that point of time, so what we think is like we have prayed to Ganesha, Murga, and Durga, and we feel and we realize that we always get benefit from them. Uh, so when we have realized that, and also we realize that Krishna is the supreme. So is it good? We cannot keep other gods idols away from our place and keep only Krishna. So that when we do that, our mind is feeling like we are not doing the right thing. Earlier we have prayed someone who has done good things to us, and now we want to keep them away from the place and worship only Krishna. Is that we feel like okay, we have a guilty feeling like we don't respect the people who has done something good to us before. So is that we get that feeling? Is that right or not? That is my question actually.
Yes, that is very nice question, and I think particularly in Indian Hindu community, this challenge is there. So the idea is that we have to just add Krishna. So initial stage, nobody's saying that you just throw away all their pictures, the demigods which you had been earlier, worshipping, etc. But add Krishna in your life. Gradually, you will come to a state where you will understand the position of demigods with respect to Krishna, and once you are worshipping Krishna, doing devotional service for Krishna, actually everyone is pleased. But that stage will come gradually. So a devotee is not someone who disrespects anyone, and obviously demigods are also included in that. So there is no disrespect for demigods, but devotee understands the position of demigod vis-a-vis Krishna. So there is no question of disrespecting, but gradually when you make some progress, further conviction, then you will understand the position, and your mind will not be able to play this trick anymore. But till that point, just make sure that you have added Krishna as a center point in your life, and then gradually that maturity will come. And then at that point of you will not feel anything bad because you are not doing anything wrong, right? Even the demigods will be happy that you have understood the real purpose and you are serving their Lord. So why should they not be happy? They will be also happy. It is our mind which plays trick. Since probably we have been practicing this and we have seen this in our family home, our parents doing like that. So all of a sudden, we should not be becoming like a fanatic and saying, "Oh, everything I'm going to throw them out." No, you just add Krishna as well, and gradually Krishna also takes care of everything, Itesham satyuktana bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tamen mamupyantite. So we have to just focus on Krishna consciousness activities, particularly chanting, offering bhoga, and taking that remnants of prasadam. Then gradually our consciousness will be purified to manage this situation which you are saying. Even if you remove it from day one, their pictures, or you stop worshipping, there is nothing, no harm will be done. But mind will not be, ready to accept that. So in that way, you just continue with Krishna consciousness. Don't respect demigods. Don't throw away their pictures, anything like that. Gradually, will develop that maturity that you will be able to control, this thought that I am disrespecting someone. And by the way, one should not disrespect. If you happen to see any, temple of demigods, then pay respect. And you can pray even. say, if you see Lord Shiva's temple, you pray Lord Shiva that I want to make progress in Krishna consciousness. Please bless me. That way they will be very, very pleased. Hope that answers your question, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. Thank you very much.
Prabhu, one more question. Gajapati Prabhu, over to you.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, very nice class. Prabhuji, the one which you said about Sukdev Goswami pastimes.
Hmm.
So, if you say to someone like, how could they convince in today's perspective? Like, if someone asks, like, how is it really possible? So, it is like, can you say that it is mentioned is Shastra? So, something like that, because
So what is possible from becoming impersonalist to personalist?
no, the story which you said about he was
Ah,
Paratage listening,
ah,
then he he
hmm,
went to the home of uh, um, Vyasadev's
hmm, hmm,
wife,
hmm,
and then he was Sukdev Goswami was there for 16 years in a home, and he
hmm.
was not ready to come out because he will capture the Maya. So, in today's context, how that can be a convincible message?
See, those who do not want to get convinced, they will never be convinced. Okay, so it is not the matter of proving our point. If you're trying to bring somebody in the path of bhakti, it is not by defeating them by argument. We never do that. What is the purpose of somebody? You want somebody to get convinced because you want them to make devotee, right, to make their life successful. So it is out of mercy devotees do that. It is not that I want to argue with them and defeat them, make my argument or force them to understand through arguments. That is not the purpose, right? So naturally for all these things they will have all these doubtful mind, always in sanchaya, because their consciousness is not yet pure. In that way, whatever is said, they will always question. That's why I'm saying now that it is said that mythology, but it's not mythology. It is based on the facts. Now, what will they say about the other things mentioned in Shastra? Say, for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it explains in detail how embryo develops within the womb of a mother. Through medical science, we have come to know about this, detailed phenomena steps by step, how it happens through, by the means of ultrasound and all, maybe like last 50 or 70 years only. But Bhagavatam compilation happened almost like 5,000 years ago. It is mentioned there. So, and then all other things you will see, like, which you can compare like a test tube baby phenomena, that, that embryo got developed within an earthen pot, like that. So all those things are there. Some like 100 years back, nobody would have believed about all these things. Now you can compare that. Oh yes, in the laboratory it is possible. That cloning thing is there. They clone. They just need human cell, and from there they can create another life. And this kind of concept is already mentioned in Shastra. They will say, oh, it is just like story. But now they know that yes, even modern science is able to get some of those concepts. Right. So for a neophyte, it is not trying to, convince them through argument. They need to have some kind of consciousness, some level of purity to be able to grasp these points. So the best thing is to engage them, particularly in chanting process. That Sevan Mukho hi Jivvado. So that is through, ear and tongue, hearing, chanting, testing prasadam. Then gradually they will get this consciousness to understand these concepts. Otherwise, it's just like explaining higher mathematics to someone who is barely able to even count. So no matter how much you explain the differential calculus, that one person will say integration, or this is like a S, it is like S, he is writing S and saying so many other things, right? It is like overhead transmission. And you are trying to explain differential equation, differential and integral calculus, not to be understood by that person who does not even understand basic, arithmetic. I'm not giving example of complex theorem though, that under root square of -1, another one, right? How can you have a root square of a negative digit? Inconceivable, right? But that is there. So much mathematical calculations are based on that complex theorem. Okay, Prabhu, I hope that answers your question in a way, maybe.
Yes, Prabhu. So, bro, like whatever is there in Shastra, then that is like to be taken care. I mean, to be understood as it is, whatever Prabhupada has quoted. So,
Yes, as it is.
as it is. Okay.
Some we may be able to understand, some we will be able to understand later, but in that case, we take help from Guru and Acharyas who have actually realized, Tattva Darshina. And the concept is what? Yes, asking question is always encouraged, Tadviddhi panipaten pariprasnena sevaya. That one, huh? Updekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshina. Because they have realized, they have lived it, then they will explain. Even if somebody does not believe in that, Shukdeva's past lifetime, fine. Whatever Shukdeva is seeing in this lifetime, you just act upon it, follow it. Does this thing take away the fact whatever he is saying in this life in Srimad Bhagavatam? Just follow the instruction, right? Okay.
Yes, bro.
I think it's a bit late now, so we'll have to close now. Thank you all very much for your time and association. Is there any announcement quickly, Prabhu? Or otherwise, I'll just close now.
No, Prabhu, we will at least send in the message in BTM groups, if at all.
Okay, fine. All right, thank you very much. Jagat Guru
Thank you,
Shishila
Prabhuji.
Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai.
Jai.
Sarupescha Kripa Sindhu
Yes, something from Chaitanya Prabhu, I think. Yes.
Haribol Prabhuji, yeah, we are already in the mid of Damodar month. Please ensure that you invite Damodar Krishna to your home or any event that you come across by putting a table or into the high street, by making everyone offer a lamp. So there are multiple opportunities. And also, we have a daily evening 7 p.m. Damodar Aarti together, 10 minutes doing together. Everyone we can join. And then 9 p.m. Bhagvatam class, Bhagvatam reading, just half an hour reading along with the family, online, all with the devotees. Morning Japa group. So any opportunity you would like to grab, please ping any of us. And the details are in the groups, most of the groups. Please utilize these in the Kartik month. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class. Everyone, Hari Bol,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Prabhu ki
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Bol.